Thinking about moving to Richmond, Kentucky? Well, in this video, I'm here to tell you why you don't want to move to Richmond, Kentucky. We're going to cover the topics that are probably the downsides of what it means to live in Richmond, Kentucky. So let's jump right into it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ben Murphy. I'm an eXp realtor here in Lexington, Kentucky, and I'm sure you're wondering, why am I making a video that says don't move to Richmond, Kentucky? Well, I get questions all the time from people from out of state. What is the weather like? What are things like? And so that's what this video is about. It's just to kind of tell you the things that might irk people, might keep people away. And so we're going to address some of those big ones right now. And so probably the biggest one that we're going to talk about real quick is the sales tax and the income tax that lie here in the state of Kentucky. Now, unfortunately, we do have an income tax on, when for every dollar that you earn, it's 5%. So for every dollar that you earn, 5% will be paid to the state of Kentucky. So if you make $40,000 a year, you're paying roughly $2,225 in sales tax. So income tax, I should say. And so that's kind of a Debbie Downer, where you got some states like Tennessee that have no income tax, and so does Florida has no income tax. It's definitely, kind of a little bit heavier on you, but we will talk a little bit real quick on everything you buy, with the exception of food. You have to pay a 6% sales tax on top of that. So when it comes to cost of living, the median household income is $40,000 a year, $30,000 below the national average. And so the cost of living, though, here in the state of Kentucky is very well below the national average. So with the income tax and the sales tax, it almost balances itself out. So probably one of the next things that kind of keeps people away from Richmond, Kentucky is if you're not the biggest outdoorsy, exciting, hiking kind of person, then Richmond, Kentucky might not be the place for you, because there is limited entertainment. There's no real mall that's there. The one that is there, half of the stores aren't even open, they're empty. So it can be kind of a little bit of a downer, just because if you really want to do something fun or entertainment wise, you're going to drive to Lexington to do it. There is a small college in the area, Eastern Kentucky University, which provides a little bit of maybe college sports entertainment, but it's not a top tier D1 school like the University of Kentucky. So again, finding things to do outside of being outdoors, you might have some trouble finding stuff to do. So that's something, again, that might just irk a few people and keep people away. But probably the next thing, number 3, ladies and gentlemen, on this list that can be kind of a downer, is the weather can be chaotic at different parts of the year. Now, what do I mean by that? Probably the biggest time of the year for the weather to be its most extreme is going from winter through spring, because not only is Kentucky kind of on that border state line, right there in the middle of this geographical line, we'll get cold fronts, we'll get warm fronts. And so like that second week of March, you could have snow on Monday and it be 75 degrees and sunny by Wednesday. Allergies will send you through the roof here in the state of Kentucky as well. I remember in February one year, I couldn't even talk for about 2 days because I coach as well. So I was talking a lot outside, and it definitely made it difficult for me. Also, when it comes to tornadoes, those can get very active very quickly here in about the May time. So going from April to May, again, weather can just be a little bit chaotic for about those 4 months. Throughout the most of the year, it's pretty consistent, it's pretty nice, and it's pretty awesome outside. Even our summers don't even really get that hot. Our winters don't really even get that cold. If they do get cold, they're not cold that long. It just, like I said, the weather can be a little chaotic at certain parts of the year. But other than that, weather's not that bad in overall landscape. Okay, probably the number 4 thing on this list, ladies and gentlemen, that will keep you from not wanting to move to Richmond, Kentucky, is we have plenty of insects, pollen, and wildlife. I'm not kidding when I say wildlife. If you're from the area, you live in the central Kentucky area, you know Richmond, Kentucky is not far from the country. You're maybe a 4-minute drive leaving the area of Richmond, Kentucky to find yourself in true wilderness, and that includes snakes, bears. We do have wolves here in the central Kentucky area on top of coyotes, and you will see them every once in a while. Just in my part of my town, we actually saw a bear, actually in a really more populated area. So again, if you're not into wildlife, you don't like seeing those kind of things, you would prefer to be more secluded in a bigger town area, Lexington probably is going to be the better choice for you, because Richmond, again, is just a little bit of a smaller community. It's not a tiny community by any stretch, but it, like I said, you're not far from the the wonders of the wildlife of Kentucky, and we've got plenty of them here in our state. So just something to think about, something to consider when thinking about moving to Richmond, Kentucky. Now, those are just a few things that will keep people kind of away from Richmond, Kentucky, and there are probably more, and I would love to discuss that with you. So one thing you got to do for me, though, is you got to hit that subscribe button, because we're going to continue to talk more and more and more about Richmond, Kentucky itself, the good, the bad, the ugly. And if you are really considering about moving to Richmond, Kentucky, then you got to shoot me an email, shoot me a text, give me a quick phone call so we can set face-to-face, whether it's on Zoom, FaceTime, whatever it is, so that way I can answer any and all questions you might have. I can elaborate further on certain topics that we covered here in this video as well. Richmond, Kentucky, with the negatives that it has, every city, every town, no matter where you go, ladies and gentlemen, is going to have its negatives. So that way I want to make sure I elaborate and make sure I confirm some things that you might have. You might have heard something that I didn't cover in this video, so I definitely want to make sure that I answer those questions that you might have. And like I said, ladies, Richmond is a great little town. I know I covered some of the negatives here, but I just helped a family sell their home. I helped a family move into the area, move into Richmond, Kentucky, into the Berea area as well, and they do love it. It is a great community. My mom even attended Eastern Kentucky University, has nothing but great things to say about Richmond, Kentucky, and I will also say Richmond, Kentucky is growing. So if you are looking for that town and that area that is going to be booming, and if you buy a home in Richmond, Kentucky, you will see a pretty good return in the next 5 to 10 years, just because I'm seeing more and more new constructions in Richmond, Kentucky than probably anywhere of the surrounding areas of Lexington, Kentucky. So if you are considering moving to the area, I would highly recommend you come check out Richmond, Kentucky. And if there are homes that you're interested in, again, I can definitely show you those and get you in those, so that way we don't miss out on anything. So appreciate you watching the video, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't done so already, please give the video a quick like for those who are trying to research and learn a little bit more about the area. And ladies and gentlemen, this has been Murphy. I'm with eXp Realty here living in Lexington. See you next episode.